All right, team, we're back with a video. For those of you just joining, this is kind of my, I guess, marathon training vlog, journal, diary, memoir, progression book, diary, whatever you want to call it. I usually go through some different stuff. Number one, Bandit just dropped their winter mental terrain. Their mental terrain drop for members. So I know I have a link in my bio for the membership. I think it's the best deal. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. I literally have just told my friends about it. Like, it's $150 for the membership annually. If you use my link, you get 20% off of that. So whatever that is, like $30. Then you also get a $50 gift card. You also get 2 free pairs of socks, which is, so you get $50 value plus 2 pairs of socks, which is another $50 value, plus $30 off, which is $130 value. So essentially you're paying $20 for a membership for what I think is probably the most up and coming running brand, apparel, lifestyle even in the sport. They also did the Olympics thing, which I don't know if anybody follows, but in other news, Sprint 2 just hit. I just ran an hour on the treadmill, did 7 miles, and I just watched the second episode of the second season, which they go through the Jamaicans. It's like the prequel to the Olympics, the Americans, the Jamaicans, on how, they're going through their qualifiers, which I thought was super cool. It was kind of pre-shadowing. They followed Noah Lyles, they followed Fred Curley, Sharika Jackson, some of the other big names in Jamaica, Gabby Thomas, obviously. That always hypes me up for running, gets me fired up. The other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit was the whole Matt Choi situation in New York City Marathon. I know I'm a little bit late. I've gone back and forth about it with my friends, and a lot of people are hating on him. And, he's an influencer. He should be banned. He took credit for what he did, and he owned up to it. But to be honest, I don't know. I understand it's unsafe, and I'd be fucking pissed if I was a 3-hour guy or sub 3-hour guy and there was electric bikes in front of me and it was Matt Choi, and I'd probably be like, yo, it's Matt Choi. It's pretty fucking cool. And probably would forget about it. I'm just surprised, honestly, that there was no policing of it during the race. Like, how are you going to tell me when you're running the New York City Marathon? I just ran Chicago. Like, apparently there was more runners than Chicago. No one caught these EV guys or the electric bike guys. Like, how are you going to tell me that no one policed it, or if it was just kind of like fandom? Like, I mean, look, he's an influencer. He ran a 2:57 or whatever he did. Pretty good, obviously, compared to the vast majority of runners. I think obviously it's the purists are fucking pissed. Like, I'm on Run Twitter, and I'm looking at some of these dudes who ran at University of Oregon or Michigan, and they're high school teachers or whatever they are, and they run, and they're purists, and that's what they do. And they drop 226s, 230s, 235s, and they're like, fuck this guy, he's slow, he's a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. For someone like me, who is a 254 marathoner, who's gotten into the sport in the last 2 years, I think that newer people need people like Matt Choi to look up to resonate with. I think it also takes balls to be an influencer. The same guy who's chirping, who's the purist, who's 226, probably doesn't have the balls to get in front of a camera and do what Matt Choi does. So that's kind of my take. Obviously, it sucks he's banned. He probably deserves it. I mean, when it comes to runner safety, when it's a world major, look, if it was like Bay State Marathon or whatever, like, I don't even know, like a 5,000, or one of my teammates did a marathon in like Washington State when there's 200 runners and packet pickup is day of, like, go do it there. That's fine. But like New York City, man, that's a big one. So, I don't really follow him. That's not one of the people that I really look up to as far as an influential, figure in the space. I really like following. I mean, this is pretty drastic, but like, I like watching the workouts of BYU. I like Adam Wood. I like Clayton and Connor, Clayton Young, Connor Mance, the Olympians out of the U.S. Those dudes are awesome to follow because they're just weapons in their Provo, Utah, like, training in the altitude, like 50 degrees, 40 degrees, like little shorts, freaking wispy shorts, just whipping out 4-minute miles. It's kind of crazy to see. The other dude, I think what's getting a little bit more notoriety is like the High Rocks guys. Like, I look at another guy I respect a lot, which I just found out about, is that guy Matt Zalea, who is a 249 guy, who is like a high rocks dude as well, which for me, I can't even imagine like going for, I'm a 254. I want to be 249 end of 2025, but like going for that and also ripping high rocks. Like, I don't know how much time you have in a day. I mean, I have a full-time job. I'm in commercial real estate. So obviously it's to each his own, but that's very impressive to me. There's another one that I'm thinking of that I thought of earlier that I can't think of off the top of my head. But those are some of the people. Adam and Mika Woods, they're good. The fashion jogger, I think, is pretty cool because she's just an Italian girl who just blew up, and she's fairly new to the game, I believe. It's crazy because everyone thinks like these influencers are so fast, and like I did too before this year, and then now I'm a 254 guy, and it's like, all right, like my goal. Oh, the other one is Floberg. Floberg's cool. He's a really good dude. You can tell. Chicago guy, fast, 234, 232 or something. Don't quote me on that. Look him up. But he's got like a background, and like this is the exact opposite of me. Like he has the background of someone who creates film and media and like can edit and cause all those effects. Like I'm here just sitting here like an interview. He puts a little cherry on top for a lot of his work. So that's a little more cinematography part of the running influencer game, but he's also a weapon. I mean, dropping 230s, and it's cool to hear his story, like going from like running his first marathon. He's a wedding photographer, running his first marathon at like 4 hours the day after he booked a wedding. So like he was on his feet all day, like a 4 hour marathon like 5-6 years ago, and now he's at a 233. Like those are the type of people I like to follow because it's like, I never even thought. I remember watching Casey Neistat, and he was like, dude, I never broke 3. And I was like, fuck, I don't want to be that dude. Before Eugene, I was like, I'm not going to be that dude. Like, I'm not going to not break 3. And I got 259. But there's specific people that I think of, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's relation to them. There's like that progression that you can see. So it unlocks your brain to be like, oh, shit, I can also do this. So probably going to do at the end of this year. It'll be like my first year on YouTube. So like I said, if you're here, thanks for following. If you're new, welcome. I mean, I've just been plotting the next race for the last few weeks as I've been kind of in no man's land, just keeping up the Z2 mileage. But yeah, those are the people that I like to follow. I know there's a lot now. It's such a saturated space in running influencers and also just running in general. Like I was lucky to join the Renaissance in 2020 during COVID. But the other thing I was going to break down is the 5K that I ran this weekend. So Sandra and I embarked on a 5-hour journey in the morning from Montreal to Boston. My buddy's little brother had passed away. He's done a charity 5K for the last 8 years. This is the shirt here. Awesome community. It's like a reunion. Obviously not the best case to get together, but we've raised a ton of money through that. Mustard seed communities, helping people in Ecuador, in Jamaica, I believe. So that's really cool. I ended up coming out, the day before. I was like, I don't think I'm going to run hard. I really hadn't done any sort of strides or sprints or speed work or even any sort of hard work since the Chicago Marathon. So I kind of thought to myself, let's not push it. I'm not really there yet. Let's just ease into it. But knowing how I am, the whistle blew or whatever, and I was in the back. I caught up with my buddies who were clipping like 6-minute pace, and I ended up at 18 minutes, 13 seconds. The first mile was quick. Second mile was fine. I mean, I think I was like 5:52 pace on average, 5:53. And, it really didn't feel like I was pushing that hard. I was wearing like sweats. I was wearing my New Balance shoes that I really like, no carbon, just kind of show and go. Did not have a mile warm up. Like it was 40 to 45 degrees in Boston. Good sunlight, a lot of headwind. So I was running against the wind the majority of the race, right on the Charles. But, no excuses there. 18 minutes, 13 seconds. It is technically a PR. I've done multiple time trials where I'm mid-17s. I would like to, at some point, stick around Miami and PR and be a sub-17. I think I have that in me. I'm still working on that fleeing 5-minute mile. Sub 5-minute mile. I'm at like 5:03 unofficial. But yeah, the race was definitely caught me by surprise. I was not going out there to win it. It got me the age group champ. I think I was 6th out of 500 or 474. So I'm happy with it. I mean, it's crazy to see even like over the last 4 or 5 years, like doing this race, how much better I've gotten at running a 5K. I remember running one in the cold and wasn't used to the cold, wasn't used to running, and I was kind of like, stressed about it, and I would come home and I was tired and achy and I couldn't go out at night and I was like all bent out of shape, and now it's like you get so much energy. It feels like the race just starts and it's over. So hoping to get that down, but definitely 2 things to take away. 1, check out the Bandit winter stuff if you're in a cold weather environment. I have been the last month and it's been super helpful. And then also Sprint 2. If you need a little bit of extra motivation, definitely watch Sprint 2. I mean, it's not for distance people, but it's cool to see how much they put into their bodies, how focused they are on training, and also just how naturally gifted these people are. I mean, it's no doubt. But again, like still flirting with the idea of Austin in the half. I want to break 80 minutes. I think that would be like a really huge feat for me. I think my PR is 129 officially, but unofficially, I think Chicago Marathon, I was like a 126 half. So the numbers are there. They just need to be updated in a formal measure, meaning in a race. But yeah, that's kind of the scoop as of late. I'll probably be back in warm weather in the next few weeks. We got Thanksgiving holiday in the States, and good luck running. Keep me posted on your races. Like, subscribe, comment. It's always fun hearing from you guys. Congrats again to Gary Shen on winning the Garmin. If you're still here, which I appreciate you even more, the next giveaway is going to be at 1,000 subscribers. So I'm at 121. I wish I could do like a countdown ticker. I don't have any sort of like patience for editing or whatever. So if you know somebody who knows somebody, that'd be helpful. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a pair of shoes. New pair of shoes at 1,000 subs. So stay with me here and appreciate it. And you go have a good weekend.